everyone, Lisa King popping on. We're making some stovetop mac and cheese with ground beef. This recipe actually called for chicken sausage, but I don't like chicken sausage. I don't have chicken sausage. So anyway, I let my pan preheat for 5 minutes and I'm adding 3 tablespoons of canola oil here. 2 and 3. Okay, what we're gonna do, we're gonna cook the ground beef and then we'll take it out and we'll start adding everything in after. Alright, so let's get our ground beef in there. Actually, what is the best way to put it in here? Hold on a second. Okay, this is our newer mix and chop. I don't normally use this one, but I am today because I do want to keep flipping it. And it's really great. You just break up the meat, and if you want like some nice color on it, flatten it out and then leave it alone for a couple seconds. Let it sear on the bottom of your pan, and don't worry about anything sticking to the pan because we're going to be putting some liquids in there and it'll deglaze the pan. So while that's cooking, let's do some 3 minutes. Okay, I've got everything measured out already. Got 2 cups of milk, a half a cup of heavy cream, 8 ounces of finely grated cheddar cheese, about 2 ounces of Parmesan cheese, but I split it and put some in this bowl with I think it's a 1/4 cup. Hold on a second. Of half a cup of panko breadcrumbs, and I mixed them all together. I added some parsley in it, and this is going to go on top and under the broiler once everything's done, just to kind of char it up a bit. Okay, and cream cheese. 4 ounces of cream cheese and a 1/4 cup of flour. That's going to help make our roux, and a teaspoon of Dijon mustard powder. And then we've got our 3 cups of elbow noodles that are going to cook separate. So once I get everything going, I will be back. Alright, our meat is done and out. We've got whatever oil's left over. I'm going to put the 1/4 cup of flour in here, and you're just going to keep whisking it until you don't see any more white. You don't want a pasty, floury taste. Okay. There's not enough oil, which I'm thinking there is not, because for some reason our meat really didn't put off too much, so I'm going to put a little bit more oil in there. And it says to whisk it until you get all these lumps out. I'm just using a silicone spatula. It's really good when you're making sauces. I don't even know if we have this one anymore. But we do have the spatula whisk, which will work the same. It's coated. Okay. What's that here? No lumps. What are we doing in the okay. I'm gonna whisk in our milk and our heavy cream. And what else? Milk, heavy cream, and cream cheese. Okay? So let's start doing that now. And I've already put in my noodles, elbow noodles, so they're cooking next to me. And get our cream. And put in our cream cheese. Yeah. So this is really, again, another easy meal. Probably took longer to grate up the cheese, but if you really didn't want to, you can buy grated shredded cheese already. But again, it comes out so much better when you grate it yourself. It melts better. It has none of the chemicals that they put on after they do it to preserve it. Switch over here. Whoop. Get all these lumps out of here. And then once this is done, let's see. Then we'll start adding our Parmesan cheese and our cheddar cheese. And once it's all melted, we'll add in the meat back and the noodles. Once that will be all covered, we'll add our topping with the panko crumbs and Parmesan cheese, put it on top, put it under the broiler for a sec, and then dinner's done. I did a variation of this recipe once, which was really good. It was chili mac and cheese. So it kind of took a little extra work because you were making like 2 recipes and combining them, but you take the chili, you know, the beans and the meat and whatnot, and all the seasonings, and you make that in one pot, and then you make homemade mac and cheese like I'm doing now, and together, and then you combine them. And oh my goodness, it was delicious. It really was good. Once this melts all the way down, we can start adding the cheese. Still see some lumps in here. Okay. And I forgot my Dijon rub. This is a Dijon mustard rub. You could use ground mustard too, but this will have and give it a really nice depth of flavor. Yep. I think my stuff was done a little bit sooner. So we're gonna put the noodles in here, but it told us to keep like a 1/4 cup of pasta water, so that we can thin out the sauce if it gets too thick after the cheese is in it. Okay, this is thickening up very nicely. So now we can start adding our cheeses in, our other cheeses. This is Parmesan cheese. And this is cheddar cheese. This is a block, which is about 8 ounces each block. In here. You can use any kind of cheese you like too. If you don't like this one, they actually have a smoked Gouda seasoning. You could use a smoked Gouda cheese. You can use something spicier like a pepper jack jalapeno, which would be really good too. Once this is all melted, we will add in our noodles and get them all covered. Nice and creamy. Sometimes it's better to have a little bit extra sauce so your pasta doesn't dry out. Don't use the whole box of pasta. I think this recipe was 3 cups, which you really don't need that much, especially if you have this meat in it as well. Okay, let's lower that down now. That looks great. So we're going to put our pasta in here now. Our scoop. And don't worry if it's dripping because we're going to add a little bit of water to it anyway. Right. This pan is really nice. It goes into the oven as well. You can do on top of the stove. You can do it in the oven. It has a lid. It's a really nice size. I like to use it when I make like chicken parmesan. They fit in there really nice. Any kind of big ziti. I probably would say 2 cups, maybe 2.5 cups would have been more than plenty. I still got more in there. Just don't seem to want to come out. Almost done. Strainer works really great too. It's really sturdy metal. It's not going to melt. Just don't seem to get to the end. Almost there. You might have to leave some stragglers here. Okay, so that's done. Take our meat, put our meat back in here. Together. Just make sure everything's covered. We're gonna lower that heat a little bit. Here it's sizzling. And this is pretty much done. We'll turn the broiler on. Which this is my brand new stove, so I have others. I've never put broiler on before. I'm not really sure how to put it on low. Nope. Right. Pretty much done. So this is like more comfort food than anything. Easy. The kids will love it. If you really wanted to mix some hidden veggies in here, put some broccoli, peas. The recipe did have peas, but I'm not a big peas fan, so just making sure nothing's stuck on the bottom. I might even add a little bit of pepper. Okay, that looks great. Try our heat off. Flatten this out. A little bit of pepper. I'll put our topping, and then we'll put it in the broiler. Again, this is Parmesan cheese, panko, breadcrumbs, a little bit of parsley just to have some color. And this will crisp up, and you're only going to cook it for a second until it crisps up. There we go. Seriously, that took, I don't know, took longer for the water to boil probably. Put this in the oven under the broiler. Wow, it's heavy.